Hello, UW alumni and friends. Welcome back to the Cowboy Alumni Pregame Pep Talks, brought to you by Black Hills Energy, the UW University Store, and UWAA Federal Credit Union. Let's get ready for the 112th game in the Border War Series with an exciting pregame pep talk featuring several former Cowboy standouts. This Thursday, November 5th, the Cowboys travel to Fort Collins to battle the 0-1 Colorado State Rams. The Cowboys are coming off of a dominating performance against Hawaii with a 31-7 victory and have a record of 1-1. Colorado State fell to Fresno State 38-17 in their opener. In their last meeting in 2019, the Cowboys defeated the Rams 17-7 in War Memorial Stadium and now have an all-time record of 48, 58, and 5 against CSU. Now I'll turn over the program to my friend and former Cowboy offensive lineman, Jack Tenet. Jack played for the Cowboys from 2006 to 2010. I hired Jack as an intern with the Cowboy Joe Club and now is Director of Annual Giving for the University of Wyoming Foundation. Jack?
Thank you very much, Keener, and thanks for having us today and letting us give a little pregame pep talk to the Pokes for this great Border War week. So I've got a couple of guys with me here today. I'm going to go ahead and let them give their own introduction. But as Keener mentioned, my name is Jack Tenet. I'm the Director of Annual Giving at the University of Wyoming Foundation. And Keener did hire me in that first job I got right out of college. I think I worked for him for free for the first year and been working for him ever since. So really appreciated my time as a Cowboy and really appreciated the ability to continue to work at the University of Wyoming and represent the university that I love so much. After I graduated, I worked at the Cowboy Joe Club for 4 years before moving over to the UW Foundation, where I am today and have been since 2013. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to a couple of the other guys. If you guys wouldn't mind, just go ahead and talk about the years that you played Cowboy football, the degree that you got and the year you graduated from UW. Also, when you left Laramie, what you did right after, whether it was played in the pros or started a career. And then finally, if you could just talk a little bit about where you're at right now and what you're up to today. Devin, we'll go ahead and get started with you.
Hey everyone, my name's Devin Moore. I'm actually a former Cowboy, used to play running back, kick return for the Cowboys. I was with the Cowboys in 2004 to 2009. I graduated with a business administration minor in finance degree from the university. As of now, pretty much in Indianapolis, Indiana, where I reside with my family. I have two little girls, an 11-year-old and a 5-year-old. And actually, my wife is pregnant with one on the way. And it's a girl as well. So hashtag girl dad these days. Yeah. I also have a business that I'm actually running, and I deal with the bonding industry, specifically with the construction industry. And it's a bit of a difference from the NFL career that I had. I'd like to say and tell everyone I was in the NFL for long enough to have a drink of coffee and meet a couple of good guys. So I had a lot of fun.
Chris, we'll go ahead and ask you the same question next.
Yeah, so I played for the Cowboys from 2006 through 2010. Graduated 2010 with a business administration degree. And then I was fortunate to go on and be able to play for 7 years in the league. I was drafted in 2011 by the Jacksonville Jaguars and played there for 3 years. And then I spent a season in Philadelphia with the Eagles, finished my career in Chicago with the Bears, where I was fortunately able to play with Mitch for a few years. So that was pretty fun. Currently, my wife and myself and our 12-month-old daughter, Grayson, are in Omaha, Nebraska, where my wife's finishing up her master's program. And then we're actually really excited to be heading back to Wyoming, up to Sheridan, Wyoming, where I've joined a firm as a financial advisor. So we're excited to get back to God's country and be back kind of where I grew up.
That's awesome. All right, Chase Appleby, we'll go to you next.
Yes, I played for UW from 2012 through 16, so I was with Dave Christensen and Coach Bowl, both Coach C 2 years, Coach Bowl 3. Left Laramie right after the Poinsettia Bowl. We flew back that morning, and I loaded my truck up and drove 18 hours back to Texas. Started working in sales for Southern Glazers Distributors, where I started at a low-end sales role, calling on grocery stores. Started there, and now I worked my way downtown Dallas, where I'm with a 5-man team, pretty much providing all the liquor to the liquor stores down here in Dallas. So it's a cool gig. I recently got married too back in July. We have 2 dogs, just bought a house. Everything's good, but I sure miss football and glad to be on here.
Mitch Unrein, we'll go ahead and finish up with you if you wouldn't mind.
So I was up in Laramie from 2005 to 2009. I graduated in 2009 with a degree in criminal justice. That was a pretty common degree for a lot of football players at that time. Graduated, and then after that, I signed a free agent deal with the Houston Texans, was there through final cuts, then ended up signing with the Denver Broncos, spent 2010 to 2014 there, signed a 2-year deal with the San Diego Chargers, was there like 2 weeks, and then I ended up getting released, was on a red eye, went to Chicago, and literally like a week after that, they signed Chris. And so that was great to spend 3 years there with him. And then in 2018, I signed a deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And in 2018, that was my last year. Injuries kind of forced me out of the NFL. Spent 9 years in the NFL, so it was a great time. And now it's on to regular life. I am married. I have a 1.5-year-old. We live down in Colorado Springs. My wife and I do a bunch of real estate investing, so that keeps us busy, and just living life after football. So everything is good.
You guys have some great stories, and it's really exciting to see where everybody's at today. So, well, we're here because it's Sheep Week, and we all know what that means. I'll never forget my freshman year coming into the locker room, and Mad Dog had taped a piece of paper at every single locker that said Sheep Week. And of course, that's the border war versus Colorado State. And right away, I knew it was a different tone. It was a different tone at practice, and what it meant to play against those rivals down to the South. And so, when I think back to my time playing, I just always remember that different attitude. It was the second you woke up Sunday morning, it was border war week. And so I'll go ahead and go through and ask you each a little bit to maybe tell a little story about something that happened during the border war when you were playing, or maybe just what the border war meant to you. So, Devin, let's go ahead and get started with you.
I think the biggest one right now is probably the kick return that when we were playing CSU. I wish I could take some of the credit or most of the credit, but I can't. I first and foremost have to give a lot of the credit to Coach Chris Knudsen, who was the special teams coach that week going into it. I mean, he was riled up and ready. He was going to have a trick play, if you will, for any given moment that we may need something during the game. And I think most good coaches always have something, a trick up their sleeve and ready for a just in case moment. And sure enough, came to be that we needed a spark during the game. And I think it was his idea where, hey, Devin, we're going to need you out there. And Hoos Marsh was also the returner back there. And everyone had their eye on Hoos. So I was kind of like, in the perfect scenario of a great decoy at that time. Long story short, I caught the ball, did a fake. I like to say my fake was okay, but Hoos carried this thing out. I mean, he faked out the cameras. He faked out the CSU players, and Jessen Sawyers actually led me down the field for a touchdown. So it was a complete team effort. And I think everyone was kind of sparked and ready to go after that moment. Kind of one of the best moments I've had against CSU.
That's awesome. One heck of a play. All right, Chris, we'll go ahead and would love to hear someone who grew up in Wyoming a little bit about what the border war means to you.
Yeah, being a Wyoming boy, I kind of grew up knowing the tradition and the history and just how much it really means to the state of Wyoming. As far as memories of while I was playing, I would probably go back to our 2009 game, Fort Collins at Colorado State. I think we went into the game needing to win to become bowl eligible, which in my time we hadn't been up to that point. Like always, it was a back and forth game. And beginning of the fourth quarter, Austin Carter Samuels had about a 50-yard run, probably one of the best stiff arms I've ever seen a quarterback throw on the safety, and then drug the linebacker into the end zone. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Special moment I've always remembered. They did come back, and they ended up kicking a field goal later in the fourth quarter. And then our kicker sealed the deal at the end of the game to get us bowl eligible, where we ended up going on to win the New Mexico Bowl that year.
Chase, I know you've got one of the great memories from playing Colorado State, and I'll never forget watching that play.
That was probably one of my career defining moments in regards to CSU. The intensity that goes into that game, and watching the older guys when I was a freshman, I was 18, how they took that seriously, like Purcell and Brett Smith, those guys, it meant the world to them. And so when I finally got my chance to participate in one of them, I wanted to leave my mark. In that particular game, final border war in Hughes Stadium, and we were down 14-3 pretty early, and we fought our way back, and we put it on them pretty good. And that was, of course, the interception night where I picked off Colin Hill. But you just don't forget things like that. Coming across the line, getting locked up with two guys, looking him dead in the eyes, and he threw it. I mean, he threw it right at me and just picked it off and ran. My mom and dad was there. My aunt was there. And that's one of the happiest moments of my life to date.
That's awesome. Mitch, right on here too. Mitch, you grew up in Colorado, came up to Wyoming. I know that game every single year meant a lot to you.
Yeah, being a Colorado native and not getting recruited by CSU or anything like that, kind of left a chip on my shoulder. So every time, the border war came around, that was some hatred coming out that I wanted to put upon the little sheep. So it was just a fun week every single week. But the game that really stands out to me was the same one that Chris Brzezinski actually said. We went into that game and we were, one win away from becoming bowl eligible, and to get that win by 1 point and the fashion that we did it and down in Fort Collins was just so sweet. And that was such a sweet way to end my college career for the regular season. We got to go on to a bowl game, and we upset Fresno State in that game in double overtime, but that's another story. But the thing I remember after that game, we were all in the locker room, and, you get the bronze boot in there. And I just remember drinking a certain beverage out of the bronze boot, and all I could taste was just rotting leather, because they don't bronze the inside of the boot, which a lot of people don't know that. It's just the outside. So you take a big drink out of that boot and it's just rotting leather taste coming in your mouth. So that's something I will never forget, and it's a great memory. Go Pokes.
I'll never forget Chris and I's senior year when we beat Colorado State 44-0 up in Laramie. And of course, there's nothing like hoisting that boot up in front of the crowd. Brown and gold loyal. So, and I do as well remember the taste of that leather. I hope it was leather coming up the inside of that boot. So let's go ahead and end up here. I know the guys are going to be getting ready for playing Colorado State. They've been getting ready all week. And let's just kind of go through and maybe a couple little words of encouragement, or maybe just to go Pokes. I guess for myself, I'd say, as you're practicing, as you're lifting, as you're sitting in the locker room, if you're on the bench waiting for practice to start, just remember those times. And I know everybody says it, but it goes quick. And look left and look right and look at your teammates in the eye and just appreciate that feeling that you get when you're all working together to accomplish one thing. And there really is nothing like it, the camaraderie that you have with your teammates. I was lucky enough to play with a lot of these guys on the screen. So I guess that'd be my words of wisdom. So Devin, what do you have?
I guess to follow up, I definitely would tell the guys, just remember all the hard work that's gone into it. We had a unique year this year that, probably, put a strain on everyone. And now's the time to let it loose, let it out on them. CSU has always been a great kind of beat up partner, if you will, to kind of let your anger out on. And now is where you put it on display. So we'll be rooting for you guys. I definitely hope to see you guys take a full out sprint to get that boot, hold it up at the end of the game, and do us proud.
Thank you, Devin. Chris.
Just have fun with it. Whether you know it or not, this game means so much to not only the state of Wyoming and the fans, but the program, the university. And honestly, these things, you'll look back and you'll realize how special they were. So I just say go have fun, enjoy the week, and enjoy going out there and bring that boot back to Laramie.
Chase, words of wisdom.
As these other guys have said, this is pretty much one of those games that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. All the details, all the memories of them, the smells, the sounds. I can remember running into Hughes Stadium, knowing it was going to be the last time I got to play these guys, and there was just a different vibe in the air. Some of y'all will get the chance to go further, and some of y'all won't. And these are some of the memories that you'll have to cherish forever. There's a lot of times I'm sitting at the office, and you start kind of thinking about those games and guys like Josh Allen and Lucas Waka and those guys you used to play with. And it just means a lot to think about those memories, to cherish them and know that you played a role in these, whether you're playing or not. I mean, you're very much a part of it. And just know that there's a lot of people who have touched that boot before and held it up, and there's not a better feeling in the world. So go out there, let it all hang out like Devin said, and just let it bug, baby.
All right, Mitch, wrap us up.
Well, I would just say it does go very, very fast. I spent 5 years in college and just feels like yesterday. I know all the time it's not that fun going out there when it's, 10 below and you have to practice and snowing and stuff like that. But looking back, I mean, I would go back and do it in a heartbeat. It was so much fun. I know some days can be long, but when you get to walk out there against CSU, that's a great feeling when you get to put the hurt on them. So I'd just say go out there and keep on hitting them in the mouth each and every down. They try to talk the talk and walk the walk, but they can't hang with you guys. So just play Wyoming tough football and you're going to get the win, and you're going to be drinking some adult beverages out of the bronze boot after the game. So best of luck, guys. Go Pokes.
That's right. Go Pokes.
The UWAA wants to celebrate with you wherever you are watching the Cowboys play. Take a photo or video of your Cowboy football celebration using the hashtag #PokesAtHome and tag the University of Wyoming Alumni Association for a chance to win 2 tickets to the Cowboys versus Air Force football game on November 14th in Laramie. We will choose the most spirited entry and will contact you if you are the winner. The game will air November 5th on CBS Sports Network at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And you may also listen on your favorite Wyoming radio station on the Cowboy Sports Network. Thank you again to Black Hills Energy and the UW University Store and UWAA Federal Credit Union for your sponsorship. Now let's get that Cowboy spirit going by singing along with us to Ragtime Cowboy Jeff.
He always sings rag music to the cowboy swing. Back and forth in the saddle on a horse, pretty horse. Got a syncopated gator and all you need is just the roar of his feet. How he runs, yes, right. When the gator used to come, cause the western folks all know he's a highway root who's just like a boy. Ragtime cowboy, how about you, cowboy? Ragtime cowboy Joe.